class, to our last video series on the global world and culture change. What is globalization? Is it an interconnectedness of the world's cultures, or is it a socially stratified global world wherein some countries have relatively more materially comfortable lives than the rest, and socially, economically, and culturally dominate other nations in the world? These are important questions that social scientists have been grappling with for a while. Most agree that at the basic level, globalization is an increasing interconnectedness of people. It's been fueled by leaps in technological communication and transportation. It's causing convergence of cultural traits such as political traits, language, and economies. The previous eras of mass trade and transportation really paved the way for the current global environment. When famous blogger Lori Kenrick was asked this question, "Hey Lori, you sage woman, what in your opinion is the best definition of globalization?" "Why, Princess Diana's death, silly," she wrote. "How come, Lori? Why?" And then she proceeded to give the following definition, and I'll read it straight from her blog. "Easy, mon ami. Okay, here you go. Diana was a very British woman, and a princess, no less. Her boyfriend was a rich Egyptian playboy. They crashed in a French tunnel while riding in a German car powered by a Dutch engine. It was driven by a Belgian who was supposedly drunk and had spent an evening slamming back, among other things, 12-year-old scotch. Their car was being closely followed by mostly Italian paparazzi on Japanese motorcycles. Once she arrived at the hospital, the princess was treated by many doctors, one who was American trained, and used numerous medicines which of course had their origin in the flora and fauna of the Brazilian rainforest. This post has been prepped and edited by me, a Texan of Polish descent. I used a computer which utilizes Taiwanese microchips and processors, and more than likely the monitor is Korean made. Furthermore, my PC was probably assembled by a Bangladeshi worker at a plant in Singapore, then transported by Indian lorry drivers who were no doubt hijacked by Indonesians. They in turn struck a deal with Sicilian mafiosos who transported the cyber contraband to Senegal, where it was handled and unloaded by Latvian dock workers, who did so under the supervision of an Armenian boss who sang Portuguese whaling songs as he checked inventory. It, my computer, eventually made its way to the US, probably via Malaysian trawler, then was unloaded at a harbor somewhere in Northern California by Russian stevedores. The computers were then driven en masse to Houston by a Midwestern teamster named Sven, whose wife is a Yap Islander named Matunga. The computers were then offloaded by undocumented Mexican workers at my friendly neighborhood computer shack, which is owned by a Croatian conglomerate. This particular location is managed by a guy who was born in Romania. He owns 2 African gray parrots, 1 Burmese python, and he loves Greek food. So much so that he regularly dines at a little dive called Taki's Takeout, where all the food is made and served by Bolivian refugees. Lastly, as I type this, I was drinking a Canadian beer while wearing a Save the Galapagos t-shirt sewn by an 11-year-old seamstress of indigenous extraction who toiled in a Panamanian sweatshop for a few weeks back in 2004. And that is the true definition of globalization. One of my favorite pictures of this course is found in this lecture. In it, you see 2 Donny men at the convergence of the moment of globalization, where one is still in traditional dress and the other is wearing the accoutrement of modern society. As Donny people and their culture changes, some people strive to hold on to their past lifeways and cultural values, while others are eager to adopt and assimilate to the new majority global world. Social scientists have lately been wondering how much of an impact COVID-19 is going to make on this march toward globalization that has seemed unfettered and been exponentially increasing over the last 2 or 3 decades. At the very least, it's causing the global world to press the pause button on globalization. I leave you to ponder this further, and we'll come back in a second and talk about the mechanisms of culture change. Have a great day.